How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Eternal Strands. So we came back to the hub here. I did upgrade the Ember's Servant, which is our little flame minions, and we have the option to update this quest as well.
I am the Maida's premier thingy hunter.
Doodads beware. Lady, gentlemen, I think we can confidently assert conspiracy.
Two devices does start a pattern.
And a pattern that must predate the Surge, since we found a device that was outside the Veil.
True. That gives us a what and a when, but leaves a whom, a how, and a why.
And how many arcs have been affected?
It does follow that if we found two, there could be more.
I'll keep an eye out for tampered arcs.
Some may have restarted on their own, like the one we followed through the Veil.
They're going to fight back, aren't they?
It does seem to be our luck, yes.
Okay. Let me just try with the talk dialogue.
Harvesting. Such an intriguing term for so critical a task.
Why do we call it that anyway?
My favorite explanation is that it implies a thoughtfulness. When we harvest a creature, we pull something out of its essence. It is, fundamentally, a violent act. But we harvest predators, ones that pose a threat to us. There are peaceful or merely territorial creatures that use magic, but Weaver custom is to never harvest them.
That makes sense. I like that we're selective about it.
Further, Weavers do not seek to eradicate these creatures, merely keep them in check. Slaughter them all, and we not only lose access to more strands, but also risk disrupting the ecosystem. You've heard of Renland's famed attempt to cull their Akala population, and the mass loss of crops due to too many deer, yes? Same thing. Even something as wild as an Ash Peak drake plays a role in the world.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been doing a talk option because they've just been repeating like early game stuff, so I don't know. Okay, so we can update this quest.
A dead body and a hidden cache of materials. It sounds like the start of a Skuld's tale.
All we need is a saber conveniently placed on the mantle and we're set.
More seriously, you said you had an idea about that sheet?
Before signing on with Aurea, I worked the relief ships between my home and Udea. A Donbrenning initiative, mind you. Our neighbours across the bay love to claim otherwise. The dockers always wanted big loads for the cranes. But certain things, like, say, herbs, you'd only ship in small quantities. Over the years, the convoys developed a system where you'd have runners and haulers. Runners would make quick trips and bring small goods to a drop. Haulers would pack the cargo together and make longer hauls to the docks.
You think we're looking at a similar system, then?
Absolutely I do. It's the sheet you found. That's a requisition for a runner if I've ever seen one. And note how it says Scout Group 23 here. That's a lot of groups.
Which means my mysterious observer is part of a large organization.
And an active one.
Okay, she must have something in mind. Move on to next steps. Want to know more about the sheet? Ask for details. I guess we'll go through all of this. Does help tell her anything? Wonder.
Do the items they're asking for seem important?
No, I don't think so. Lane thinks the garble at the bottom might be, but not the order itself. They're prioritizing fabricated items over raw goods.
What would that indicate?
At a guess, our Hearthsiders have lost, or were expecting to lose, production capacity and wanted backup parts.
Okay.
How can you be sure the Enclave folks would use similar methods to yours?
It's centuries old, and you don't fix what wasn't broken, especially in a crisis. And from the state of the capital, they were definitely in crisis.
Try more about
When
the
you
sheet.
say requisition,
Think of it like an order. Bread, cheese, carrots. But left at the drop for the runner to prioritize before the next gather. It takes forethought. There's necessary lag between the order going out and being filled. But any logistician worth their salt can see a few months ahead and plan accordingly.
What do we do with this information then?
At the bottom of the sheet, there's that series of numbers and letters. Those would represent drop points. I did some digging with Lane, and they're referring to coordinates on a map of the Enclave that was made just before the surge. L7 is part of the capital, see? That's where you found this drop. So, I'm inferring that these other marked coordinates are just as likely to have drops.
I'll check them then.
If nothing else, we could find materials for our own stocks. But I'm hoping there's more.
Maybe where our Hearthsiders are hiding.
Also, Lane was looking over the orders and wanted to talk to you about the writing along the bottom.
More drops, and talk to Lane. Got it.
Okay. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did when I was running around a little bit ago, like looking for the Ark of the Living Flame in other areas. I did run across, I think it was like right after the episode where we fought the gravity sledgehammer worm or whatever. And I was running in the first area, and I ran into another one, so our telekinesis is up at, I think we have enough now for, yeah, I think it's at least level 2. I don't know if we have another one for level 3. Okay, so let's do this.
You wanted to talk about the supply orders?
Indeed. It's about the gibberish along the bottom. Notice how the writing is in a different hand.
Yes, I can see that.
We're looking at a cipher. Someone sharing encoded notes.
Okay. Want to make sure to keep up. That's for. That's about it. Yeah, I guess we'll go through this.
Any initial guesses as to what the cipher says?
Hard to say exactly, but what we know is these orders were for Scout Group 23. So let's assume there is an organized group of Hearthsiders arranging these drops. At a guess, this was an unofficial channel of information passed to those in the field.
Information that would be invaluable to us.
Agreed. Why encode text if it's not significant?
Okay.
You're sure we're dealing with a code and not just doodles?
While possible, it's not likely that someone would scrawl nonsense on the bottom of official orders. Why do so? To practice calligraphy? To refine their writing? Perhaps. But this is decidedly not calligraphy. Ergo, cipher.
Okay. Of course, Leanne is into this. That's about the experience.
What's your background with ciphers, Lane?
There's something of a hobby for me. Specifically, breaking them.
A fan of knowing secrets?
More a fan of information being shared freely. But also, yes, Udean nobility relies on them heavily, and being privy to the dirty laundry of the nobles is advantageous.
Can you give me a quick rundown on encoding, so I'm sure I'm following?
A favorite topic of mine? Cipher is a blanket term for securing text so that only an intended recipient can read it. They range from reasonably simple swaps of letters to complex changes that require devices or key sheets to solve. But, as notes quickly added to supply orders, the codes we are dealing with were simple by necessity.
Sounds like we have a cipher to break. I'll keep hitting dead drops.
Any code is easier to break with more samples. You can work on it like any other research project.
It's rather funny that we have not completed. Now we just got another quest. We have not completed any of these. Okay. 2 more supply jobs in Halopire Rise, Upper Nevron. Keep in the Bastion. Okay. Okay. So there's that. Cover more devices from defeating arcs anywhere around the Enclave. Oh. That's why this hasn't updated. Okay. And then, yeah, okay. Alright, so let's try and finish up this supply run since there are specific locations that we can head to. So Upper Denevron. Alright, so we'll head to this spot.
The air's thick, almost sour. What's happened? This
Matron.
can't be natural.
This is exactly.
Didn't mean to interrupt the dialogue there. Alright, so we need to head like
Exactly what happened to Tarza after the
South,
surge when all the
basically.
aeroliths failed. It must be something like that.
well, two of those guys? No thanks. Oh god. Alright. I think we're gonna have to like cross over. Ooh. Good thing I didn't have to climb there because I had no stamina. Okay. Okay, so now, yeah, pretty much this way. Yeah, okay. Switch my other weapon here. Okay, so it's around here. Really do need to upgrade my sword and shield here. Let's get our little friend down here.
Another thingy.
Okay, that's for the one quest, right? Yeah. Okay, so we just need to run around and kill a bunch of those homeboys. Which, I mean, should not be very difficult considering they are freaking all over the place here.
Another Tapadark.
Oh, nice. one more. Come on, everybody. Dead. Drop anything? Stop, drop, and roll. Hello? Oh. Maybe you'll drop some. Yes, no. Alright, so... where could this be? This looks like... looks like one of the spots. But there's nothing here. Listen here, buddy. I mean, if I get close to it, the marker is gonna appear, so... Oh god, one of the gravity guys. Another friend.
Brynn,
There we
Sev and I have been digging into the devices you recovered and developed a working theory.
We'll test it against the ones you found in the field.
Okay. Perfect. I feel like I should be going up. Bunch of magic crap over there. I mean, I'm headed into the guild district. Oh, don't mind me, buddy. feel like I was close over there. Because there's that statue. Hell, that thing is. Thing's just floating there, that's fine. Where could this thing be? Yeah, because there was this statue over here. Looks very much like the other ones. Why that just suddenly appeared there. There's gonna be something in this tree, guaranteed. Nothing valuable. Usually goodies in those trees.
Should be a drop somewhere around here.
Uh-huh. Oh, bro, you still alive? What? Dude. Thought that was him still for a minute. It's my little buddy. Oh, it's gotta be down here, dude. Get off the wall, what are you doing? Ooh. Let's try the arc plate. Okay. There we go.
Let's see. Supplies. That's good. More orders. Huh.
What's up?
Drops will be assigned to specific teams and tracked individually to deal with recent concerns.
That's boss talk for we're watching you because someone had their hand in the cookie jar.
Okay, Frostbane. Let's see. Can we drop? Drop the softwood. Can't pick anything else up, unfortunately. Okay, so we can probably head back because we have to head to we finish up that other one and we need to go to the keep in the bastion, so Um, so yeah, let's head back. This whole Lost City quest is spanning quite a few episodes here. Alright.
What have we found?
That I am a very great fool.
He is not a fool.
I am. Hours trying to unravel the complex enchantments in each of these devices, and Sev here, paragon of clarity, points out a single point of commonality so mundane I had ignored it.
Just try that we're making progress.
It's a team effort every time, Dom. What did you two discover?
What our keen-eyed friend spotted was a singular mark etched into each device.
A maker's sigil. We used them in Tarza to lay claim to a craft work. They're certified to each maker. And I've always heard we borrowed that practice from the Enclave.
Meaning this mark could be registered in public records.
The spire is a logical next stop. Nothing comforts the rich and powerful like bureaucracy.
That's where I'll start looking then.
Okay. Proof of conspiracy. Okay. Alright, so... Is there anybody else do we need to talk to? Quest related? No.
Brynn, a moment. I'm collecting data, surveying the team, so to speak. One question is all I need answered. Do you think Ava deserves a share in any rewards for the work undertaken by the Weaver Band?
Got a point. Respond seriously.
Of course. But we might have to find something other than gold and jewels to shower her with.
Further elaboration is optional, of course, but what comes to mind?
Back in Carlnhaven, we took our pack beasts to the hot springs. I think she'd love a spa day up in the mountains, don't you?
Oh, that's very good. I'll make a note of that.
Anything else you need?
No, that's quite enough for now. Thank you.
Okay. Guess we're almost at time here,
Lane,
so...
could I have my ink pot back? You borrowed it quite a while ago.
Yes, of course. Just find it.
Out in the field, you mentioned you recognize the sudden change in weather.
The same rapid shifts racked Tarza shortly after the surge. The deserts had been somewhat tamed by enchanted stones, the aeroliths. Each kingdom would boast they had the greatest coverage. Ironically, while the Tarzan nobility were bragging they each had more, the real concentration of them was in Judea. That did not end well.
Let me guess. Something awful happened to them after the surge.
The enchantments cascaded out of control. One would skew the weather too far, others would react.
Like a pendulum swing, but getting stronger.
Yes, rapid and extreme. Just like what we're seeing here. Thankfully, this means they should be somewhat predictable. The more we learn about each locale, the better we'll be able to predict the changes.
So, keep exploring and wear my warm pants now and then. Can do. How are you feeling about this whole Archon sabotage investigation, Sev?
I am unsettled. The thought of Arcs being smuggled out of the Enclave makes me wonder what else was happening just before the surge.
What did this cast down on them? It's distracted by maybes.
We can't change the past. Just pick up the pieces and try to figure out what happened. Anyone organized enough to smuggle an ark outside the Veil had to have had support. They must have left a trail.
You're right. It's just the implications of an ark being smuggled out. Was someone trying to reverse engineer how they were built? And if so, who?
The best way to put those worries to bed is to keep searching.
Okay. Let's see. See how this looks. That was kind of cool looking. See if she has
You
anything.
seemed a little discouraged earlier when we were talking to Dom.
I was. I know he means well, but sometimes Dom's enthusiasm can be a bit much.
He seemed supportive.
Oh, he is, but let's just say sometimes he latches onto an idea without considering alternatives. It's fine. You're sweet to ask.
Okay. Good there. See about Jasmine.
Hey, Brynn. Sorry I got carried away with our errands.
It's okay, Kaz. What was going on with that, though? Are you alright?
Yeah. Sometimes there's so much to do, it's hard to keep my head on straight.
Maybe you should take a day to relax. Our ongoing disaster isn't going anywhere.
I don't know how anyone relaxes in here. What about you?
Me?
Yeah. What do you do to relax?
Always scribbling in my journal. Tell her writing, drawing helps. Outskirts beautiful. Tell her walk outside the camp helps.
I've always just turned to writing or drawing to process my feelings.
Oh. What do you write about?
Everything. What I see on expeditions, our band's discoveries, conversations like this.
You write about our conversations. Are they all that important?
Sure. Why not? It just helps to get it all down on the page.
That actually sounds nice.
When all else fails, a nap always helps too.
For Ashar, maybe. As a Kashar, I don't need as much sleep as the rest of you.
Sure. But you need some kind of break from time to time, Kasmin.
I'll think about it.
Do you read a lot of Scald's tales, Kaz?
I do, as a matter of fact. When I can find a transcription. But I'll read just about anything I can get my hands on.
Any favorite storytellers?
Eloisa Farthing. She's a local writer back home. Actually, a lot of her stories are set in Dunbrennig. That's what I like about them. No matter where I am in the world, I can curl up with passages describing our rainy summers or stormy winters. And it's like I'm home.
That's beautiful. Though the weather in Dunbrennig sounds terrible.
It is. What about you? Are you much of a reader?
Prefer to live stories rather than read them. Tell her never been much for books. Spent my childhood captivated by stories. Talk about books shaped me.
Of course. Nothing better than curling up with a book by the fire.
Huh. Somehow I wouldn't have guessed.
I think it brings me back to my childhood too. Not a lot happened in my hometown. So I spent a lot of my time reading or listening to stories from travelers and veterans.
Any favorite books?
Ooh, hard to choose. But maybe The Perennial Skirmish by L.M. Saunton. A fictionalized retelling of Carnhaven's fight for independence from the perspective of an Oberon teenager whose parents are lost in the war.
I haven't heard of it. I'll add it to my list. Sola, Lane, and I have something of an informal book club on the go. You can give your recommendations.
Good to know. I'm surprised Dom isn't involved in that too.
He was, but his invitation was rescinded. The three of us would like to maintain a soothing mood during our meetups. He got too excited and spilled red wine on the pages of our first read, so...
Ah. I see.
That's funny. Okay. And Oria.
Hey, Brynn, keep an eye on Kaz for me. okay?
You're worried about her?
The last time I saw her this strung out was during her point training. I was talking to Sola the other day. It doesn't seem like she's sleeping much.
I know Cosmo training to be a point. Yeah, we did know that. Cosmo always seems stressed. Ascoria, what's different now? Ascoria, if this is out of ordinary. Or you in the loop, pretty sure it's fine.
Casmin isn't someone I'd describe as easygoing on a normal day. What exactly has you worried?
Some of the things she was asking you for, we just don't need. Or at least not in those quantities.
90 Ash Peak Drake scales did seem like a stretch.
Normally she's more deliberate in her backstocking. This feels irrational.
I thought Kashar generally sleep less than the rest of us. Is it really that concerning?
Less sleep. Not none. We all need to rest sometime. When I asked Casmin about it, she mumbled something about how she'd sleep when everyone was safe. I tried to ask what she meant, but she didn't want to talk about it further.
That is concerning. I'll let you know if I notice anything. Don't worry. I'm sure Casmin will be fine.
You're probably right. Just keep your eyes open. She seems to open up to you more than the rest of us.
Okay. Alright. So I think we're going to call that here. Next time the plan is to go to the Bastion for the supply run. Finish that up. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Hopefully you were all doing well. Stay tuned. More coming at you. Take care.